Hi there, it's Peter the Mindful Runner, and welcome to the first ever Q&A with the Mindful Runner. So today we're going to be answering questions on mindfulness and also on running. We've had people submit questions via the Mindful Running group on Facebook, and they've shared questions in the comments, or we've had some private messages sent via Messenger. So just to let you know, I am an experienced mindfulness practitioner. I've been teaching mindfulness for the last 3 or 4 years, and I've delivered courses to hundreds of people throughout the UK. With regards to running, I've ran off and on for a long time, so I've got some experience with that. By no means know-it-all. We're always learning with whatever we're doing, so I'm still learning with regards to mindfulness, and I'm still learning with regards to running. So we can all learn from one another. So I'm not proclaiming to know everything. I'm just sharing advice and experience and answering your questions the best I can. So let's get on to it with the questions. So as you can see here, I've got my list of questions here. We're very professional at the Mindful Runner here. Don't have any other devices. I'm using pen and paper there, so sometimes I might have to refer to the questions. So the first question wasn't really to do with running or mindfulness, but it was a good question anyway, because when I posted asking for questions, I said I was going to record a vlog. And there was a question from Phil from all the way from Lanzarote saying, what is a vlog? Now sometimes we can use abbreviations and assume that people know what they're going to be, but we don't always know. I mean, a vlog is a video log. And about 3 or 4 months ago, I probably wouldn't have known what a video log was. So there's no such thing as a stupid question. So that's that question answered there for Phil. So thanks for asking that, Phil. The next question, let's have a look, is from Michelle. If I do long runs, music helps me. Do you think if you want to practice a more mindful approach, that music interferes? It's a really good question, Michelle, so thanks for asking it. So music, I suppose studies show that it can help when running. So it can help motivate and help focus from that point of view. There's always to consider the safety aspect. So when we're running with music, you know, if we're running on the roads, we might not be able to hear traffic. So it can be slightly dangerous. So that's really important. Or if you're running on the trails and maybe a cyclist is passing you and they ding the bell to let you know that they're going to pass, you might not hear that. So that's something to take on board with regards to listening to music, is sometimes there is a safety aspect of it. But the positive side of it is that music can bring you into the present moment, and it can motivate you, and it can help you when you're running. So it is a personal choice, listening to music. With regards to would it be more mindful not to listen to music? Well, mindfulness is paying attention to what's going on in the present moment. So if you're listening to the music, that's what's going on. It may be a distraction from what's actually going on if you weren't listening to the music. So, you know, you might be noticing your breath or the sounds of your feet pounding the ground, or maybe the sounds of nature around you, or traffic, or people, if you're passing people. So it's entirely up to you, really. You might like to try doing the long run without music and seeing how it goes. Something that you can use with mindfulness is taking your attention to the breath, or to the body, or to the sights around you, or the sounds, or the smells. So it's a personal choice, that one. Sometimes you might like to listen to music when you're running, and other times you might not. So you just try it out and see what feels right for you. So the next question is, I've noticed recently that my feet are tingly when I stop running. I've recently changed my trainers, but they're the same kind as I used to use. Any ideas why this is happening? And that question is from Gemma. So really interesting question, Gemma. So thanks for asking that. So when we're choosing our running shoes, it can be important to know that they're fitted correctly and they're the correct size. So what sometimes happens is when we run, for example, I usually in shoes take a size 8, but running shoes I would take an 8.5, because rule of thumb is, you should perhaps get half a size up from what your normal shoes are, and that allows you enough space in your feet. Sometimes the feet can swell when we're running as well, so that makes the foot bigger and the shoe can seem tighter. With regards to the tingling, it could actually be that maybe your trainers, your running shoes are a little bit too tight. It could possibly be that you are tying your laces too tight. Your socks might be too thick, because what that can do is sometimes it can compress the nerves in the foot, and that can create numbness or tingling in the feet. So what I would suggest is perhaps checking that your shoe isn't too tight, or that you're not tying the laces too tight. We've got some really good running shops here in the northeast. We've got Northern Runner and Start Fitness, and if you go in there, they'll check that out for you and check that your shoes fitted correctly. So that's something that might help. Like I say, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical profession, so if you have any issues with regards that are bothering you with injuries or anything like that, you might need to see a doctor or something like that. With regards to the mindful approach to it, well, tingling's a sensation, isn't it? But it's always interesting to notice what the mind does with this, or with judging it good or bad. And tingling in the foot's a sensation, but maybe that your trainer's too tight, too small. So maybe try that and see how you get on with that. So thanks for that question, Gemma. The next question we have is pre and post run stretching. So this is really important. What I would say is, before you go for a run, don't do static stretching. Research has shown that that's not really good for you. The muscles aren't warmed up, so doing static stretching is perhaps not helpful. Dynamic stretching before you go running can be really helpful. Maybe I can do a video on that for you, where you're actually doing a movement. So you've got ones where you can maybe swing your legs from left to right, or kick your leg out forward and back. So you're mimicking some of the movements that you're actually going to be doing in running. It's really important to listen to your body though, and not do them mindlessly and on autopilot. So paying attention to your body when you're doing these movements. It might be your left leg can go a little bit higher than your right leg. So really paying attention is a skill when we're doing these movements, to learn and understand your body better. And also learn that every day the body might be slightly different. So when you're doing a dynamic stretch, one day you might be to go a little bit higher, or the next day you might need to ease off if there's a bit of tightness in there. And also remembering to breathe when we're doing these stretches, because a lot of the times when we do these stretches, we sometimes can tense the body up and also hold the breath. So really taking your attention to the body and breath when you're doing these movements, and getting out of the head and coming into the body. And that's a real skill, and it takes practice. So that's something maybe you can try when you're doing your dynamic stretches before you go for a run. Post run, after the run, that's a really good time to do static stretches. So you can do stretches for your calves, for your hamstrings, for your glutes. That's really helpful as part of your recovery after the run, to do those static stretches. So maybe I can do a video on pre and post run stretching for you. So look out for that one. So that was a great question that was sent by Messenger. So thank you for that. The next question is, I've recently started meditating. My mind seems to be busy. Am I doing it right? Well, that's a great question, because when we first start off meditating, it can be a bit of a shock, because we're stopping, we're paying attention to what's going on, and we probably notice how busy the mind is. So the mind, might be focusing when you start meditation. You're focusing perhaps on the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath, maybe through your nostrils, maybe through your mouth, or maybe your chest going up and down, or your abdomen going down. So that's your focus point. That's what you're focusing on. So you're not thinking about the breath, but you're actually feeling the breath in the body, and that's your focus point. And what you'll find is, that your attention will drift away off into thought. It's what the mind does. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. And part of the meditation is to notice actually when your attention is drifting away from the breath off into thought. It's what the mind does. And that moment that you notice that your attention is no longer on the breath isn't a time to give yourself a hard time or chastise yourself. It's really, that's a moment of awareness. So we're spotting that, we're cultivating that, noticing when the attention drifts away. Then we're bringing the attention back to the breath with kindness, with patience. So we're being sort of the impartial observer of our experience without judging it. We're being curious and kind. So can we sit one day and notice just, okay, today when I meditated, my mind was busy, that was fine. Tomorrow when I meditate, the mind might be a little bit calmer. But it's really interesting, if we do have a meditation that's quite calm, we can become attached to it and think, okay, yeah, I've nailed it, I've got it, I've become really good at this. Then the following day we might sit down and we might, the mind might be busy and we think, oh, I'm not doing it right because the mind's busy. Well, it's not going to be calm all the time. So it's just noticing how we're relating to this. So at the end of the day, when we're starting, we might start out meditating for 5 or 10 minutes a day. That can be really helpful for when you're first starting out. And being kind to yourself. So, just noticing when the mind wanders, gently bringing your attention back to the breath. So, it's not that you're doing it wrong. Great question. It's just initially we're noticing when the attention's drifting off. So, great question. Thank you for that. The next question is, how can I be more mindful when I'm running? Great question. So when we're running, if you first want to do a mindful run, then maybe I suggest focusing for, say, a few minutes of your run, of your feet in contact with the floor. So focusing on the sensation of your foot hitting the floor, that might be helpful for you. It may be that you focus on your breath as it's entering and leaving the body, the physical sensations of the breath. That's something you can do. Again, just like meditating, your mind will wander and drift off from that. It's not a mistake. You're just noticing when that happens and bringing your attention back to the breath or the feet hitting the floor. And then as you progress later on, you can open your awareness out to everything around you, the scenery, the sights, the sounds, the smells. It's all part of your experience. But initially, I would say just focusing on your feet, the sensations of your feet hitting the floor, or taking your attention to your breath for a little bit. And maybe just doing it for short period of your run, maybe for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then just running and enjoying your run. Okay, so you're not doing it for the whole of the run. You're just gradually building it up slowly. So hope that's answered that question for you. The next question and final question is, I'm new to running. Can you give me any tips or advice? Well, great that you are new to running. When we first start off running, sometimes we can be over enthusiastic and we might want to run too far or be judgmental, or we might find it absolutely wonderful. So it's really important to build up slowly and be kind to yourself and to focus on the positives. So sometimes when you're starting off running, it can be useful to just run for a particular length of time rather than saying, okay, I'm going to go through a 3 mile run today. It might be more helpful to say, okay, I'm just going to run for 10 minutes today. But always listening to your body. If the body, if you need to walk for part of the run, that's fine. You're gradually building it up. So you don't need to run all the way. You can take your time and walk a bit. There's no problem with that. And then gradually just build it up. They say with regards to your runs, you should never go more than 10% in distance when you're building it up, maybe over the week. But you listen to your body and do what's right for you. So you might need to ease off 1 week, or it may be that you feel okay and you can push, an extra 10% in the distance or your time. But it's really important to focus on the positives, because sometimes when we start running, we can become disheartened and think, I'm not really enjoying this and I'm not doing enough and I should be doing it better. Well, no, you're out there in the open, doing something really positive for your physical and mental well-being. So focus on, okay, you might say, I'm going to go out for a 20-minute run today. You might only do 15 minutes. That's great. Don't focus on the 5 minutes that you've from the 5 minutes that you've not done. Focus on the 15 minutes that you've done, because that's great. And it's about building it up, taking your time. There's also running clubs out there you can join. Don't be frightened to do that. The running clubs are really friendly and really supportive. There's lots in the local area, and they can support you and help you. which is really good, and it can be encouraging to run with other people as well. So that's something you might like to think of there. So that's all the questions answered. So thank you all to the people who have submitted their questions. Hope you've found this video helpful. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you found it helpful and you like it, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you feel like this might be helpful to any of your running buddies out there, then feel free to share this video. That's what it's all about, helping people, supporting people, inspiring and motivating people to lead a happier, healthier lifestyle. Remember, you can follow the Mindful Runner on Twitter and Instagram at runner_mindful. We also, if you're watching this on Facebook, remember there's also the Mindful Runner is on YouTube. So we've got the YouTube channel, so I upload all my videos onto there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then check out the Facebook group, The Mindful Runner. So I would just like to say thank you as well for all your support. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for all the kind comments. Thank you for all the likes, the shares, and everyone who's subscribed to the YouTube channel. It really does mean a lot. I hope your training and running is going well. I wish you well. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.